the thoughts I have about Sam, when you mentioned it, are so many and a hundredfold that it's difficult to even comprehend. I mean, talking to you now about something that happened over 40 years ago is emotional, to say the least.
Is there one image that comes back to you of Sam that you hold dear?
I don't know if it's up on the screen behind me, but that image with him and Isela on Alfredo Garcia in the graveyard where we shot the grave scene. I think that's an image that I can hold for quite a while.
25 years ago, you said that the relationship with Sam was unfinished. Over that 25 years since we last spoke, have you managed to make a closure in your own mind with Sam?
I will never have closure with Sam because Sam is a part of my life, so it doesn't need closure. If I were no longer alive, then maybe I would have closure, but it was unfinished business because I was unable to tell him what I really felt when we broke up. But the Sam that I knew at the beginning was not the Sam at the end, so I don't need closure with the Sam I knew. I only need a continuation of my life based upon my life with him until I die.
Was there also an element of him becoming a kind of father figure to you, Katy?
Never. The father figure was the farthest away, because my father, who I lost, was a very different man. My father was unbelievably kind and considerate and loving, and my father saw no wrong in me whatsoever, and I feel I failed my father much more than I feel that I failed Sam. To me, the most endearing quality with Sam, and what made me come back for more, because a lot of the other pressures were not so great, was his vulnerability. And I have extreme maternal instincts because that were generated in me way before I even knew what the maternal instincts were, which is ironic that I never had my own children, which is why I look after other people's children. And I think Sam was someone that fitted that category. He was a child that was vulnerable and a child that needed me, and that's why I think he realized that, and that's why he hated it so much, because he never wanted anybody to look up to, because of his relationships because of his deep relationship with his mother, that he saw in me the same position in his life as his mother was, and there was a conflict there. So I sensed that vulnerability, and I thought, took it on without, unconsciously, I think.
You said in the original interview that when he worked off anger and he worked off fear, when he did that, he worked at his best off anger and fear. Do you remember saying that? Can you expand on that?
I didn't say that. I said that Dustin worked off anger and fear. Sam worked best under contrition, under anger, not fear, but the more he resented the powers that be, the more that he resented the people that were dictating to him what he had to do. He fought against it, and through that fight became his most creative.
How do you think your life would have been changed and different without Sam?
My life would have been extremely different without Sam, because I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you. I wouldn't have done Straw Dogs. I would never have come to America. I would never have had a career here. I would never had any thought of coming to America. I might have continued my film career in the UK. I don't know if I would have continued my film career in the UK, because I don't know. It would not be in the slightest way what it is now. That phone call was life-changing to the extreme.
When you took that call and went to see him, did you have any kind of instinct that it would be so life-changing?
I had no instinct whatsoever that it would be life-changing. None whatsoever. I mean, how could you? I mean, this is, you know, this is the most important time of my life. You know, I did 8 pictures with him. I did 7 pictures with Sam in 8 years. I traveled around the world. I experienced working with people from every nation and on topics that I didn't even consider I would be dealing with. You know, to do Cross of Iron as a child of the Holocaust, to do a movie about the common soldier in Germany and dealing. I mean, I never. It was, the whole thing is life changing. In fact, I'm going to do a film about how working with Sam changed my life. I hope to do a film about how working with Sam changed my life, which was a journey to Karlovy Vary, to the film festival, and rediscovering my roots in Czechoslovakia, from where my parents escaped from. I mean, if it wasn't for Sam, I never would have gone there, and I now have uncovered the most incredible stories about my life.
In a sense, and we've filmed you now twice, eloquently talking about him, with Sam represented with photographs over your shoulder. And in a sense, Sam has remained over your shoulder for these 35 years, hasn't he? And I wondered just how that feels to you on a daily basis.
I mean, he's not over my shoulder all the time. I've had other influences in my life and other experiences and other friendships. But I would say if he was over my shoulder, that feeling of him being behind me or looking over me makes me realize that it'll never go away, because he was the one that formulated the person that I am now. And that's not so bad, I hope.